road to recovery, but they took their time with that filly, and they've noticeably been relatively patient with this filly, and there's every chance this step up in trip and a bit more time under her belt will see.
Yeah, it's not as though she's kept her handicap mark protected. She's rated 95, so she has to put up a decent level of performance in this first handicap to win. And to justify being odds on, she's got to be a 100 plus horse. She shapes as though she might be. She was very impressive, she finished only fourth first time out. She missed the break, was green early, got further behind, whereas Motivate Me was okay early at the stalls in that race at Sandown. Motivate Me's got a big weight pull, but she looks disappointing in the paddock. She was sweaty and edgy. This is her at Haydock last time when she had a hard race, but she really battled it out to finish second under her penalty for winning at Salisbury second time out in pretty gutsy fashion as well. She seems versatile regarding the ground. It was heavy this occasion at Haydock, but it was good to firm when she won at Salisbury. But as I said, she didn't impress in the paddock today.
Will she see out this trip based upon what we're seeing on screen?
Yeah, I don't think shouldn't be any problem for extra couple of furlongs for her. She keeps going. Just her demeanour in the paddock was slightly off-putting.
She has one on quick ground, and as Eddie says, that was heavy there. We're now good to soft all over there. Andrea Azzini in the saddle to ride Motivate Me 42 days after that last start, daughter of Motivator here. Sea of Faith then 4-5 now, Motivate Me 11-4. What about Jedi, who's an 8-1 shot, who, well, we know that she stays this far. She's a 1 mile 6 winner on a reappearance in May. She's been beaten the last couple of starts. Yeah,
indeed. One of them was a Group 3, so you wouldn't have necessarily expected her to make a splash there. Last time out was on the all-weather. Again, you wouldn't be. She has got winning form at Kempton, but I just don't. I mean, she looks fine today. She's got Ryan Moore helping, but stable's in decent form. I just think that if Sea of Faith is going to be the horse she looks like she ought to be, she ought to put Jedi away. I still wouldn't want to back Sea of Faith at odds on in a handicap for the first time. We don't really know enough about her. Jedi, we don't really know what she achieved in winning that race, small field race at Haydock. But it's a similar setup, isn't it? It's softish ground, it's a small field, it's roughly the same distance on a flat left-handed track. So there are similarities that mean that probably she's attracting supporters.
Who's most likely to go forward here?
Good question. I was thinking possibly Motivate Me. I'm not entirely certain. You wouldn't be sure that Laurelina would want to be played too early because they can't be certain about her stamina.
Just with some of these young fillies up in trip, you'd imagine they would want something to take them into it, wouldn't you?
I suspect that I'll have another will be up there early. Did make the running for a while in the Musadora, so even though she's up in trip, I would think that Mark Johnson wants his horses ridden in an uncomplicated manner. I would suspect she might be going forward, but really I'm playing guessing games there.
Stamina doubts for that filly, I'll have another?
I doubt it myself. I think she'll stay, but they're all stamina doubts until they've proven otherwise. Laurelina's now quite well handicapped based on her best form, and she's just edged down 4 or 5 pounds this season.
Motivate Me will be the last to go forward. One of 3 3-year-olds in this 6-runner field. Here's Richard.
Couple edgy in the stalls, but we're just about all set. All clear's been given, and the 6 runners jump away. Market Leader was awkward away from the stalls. Sea of Faith just rather bobbled at the start, and James Doyle in no hurry just slots her in at the back. No one's in that much of a hurry, with I'll Have Another for Jim Crowley taking the field along as they race through the first furlong, but it's a very steady pace. 1/2 to 3/4 of a length to Laurelina, who is in second place. A couple of lengths in third, then to Point in Time in blue with the yellow stars. Motivate Me comes next, and the 2 at the back, both Jedi for Ryan Moore, also Sea of Faith for James Doyle. Both those riders at this stage at pains just to restrain their mounts at the back of the field. And so even though they're strung out by 6 lengths, the early pace is not that strong. I'll Have Another leading them towards the final 10 furlongs. I'll Have Another by over a length now. Laurelina in second place, green jacket in the white sheepskin noseband. Third belongs to Point in Time ahead of Motivate Me. Just about a length between each of the runners now, with 5th place belonging to Jedi, and Sea of Faith in the yellow colours remains the back marker. So I'll Have Another, still at a pedestrian gallop down the back straight, leads by over a length from Laurelina. 3rd place belonging to Point in Time as they now prepare to make their way inside the final 7.5 furlongs. And still out in the lead, Jim Crowley, leading by a length or so. Laurelina in second place under Oisin Murphy as they turn out of the back straight. Point in Time for Holly Doyle. 4th place for Motivate Me, Andrea Azzini. And still Jedi held up by Ryan Moore, green and yellow. Market leader Sea of Faith, yellow colours with a single purple star. So making the turn, it'll bring them inside the final 7 furlongs. And out in front, I'll have another leading by a length from Laurelina. And the pace just beginning to pick up for the first time, but it's been a pretty much dawdle to this point. Now I'll have another Jim Crowley, just allowing the horse to stride on by over a length from Laurelina in second. Point in time is third. And in fourth place is Motivate Me. Jedi as they turn towards the 5. And Sea of Faith, I'll have to pass them all to win. As out in front, I'll have another now turns for home. Slightly more purpose in the step of the leader now. As they make their way up the home straight, I'll have another leading by 2 lengths. Laurelina in second. In third place is Point in Time. Motivate Me being pushed along. At this stage, both Jedi and Sea of Faith, despite being towards the rear, are travelling okay. So the field just begin to bunch up. I'll have another for the first time is shaken up. Laurelina gets there travelling well, but so are a couple in behind, including Jedi. Gradually, Sea of Faith is being gathered together, still loping forward on the outside. Point in Time still amongst horses. The one that's been hardest at work is Motivate Me. Laurelina's hit the front. Jedi and now Sea of Faith is asked to quicken. It's not immediate. Point in Time at a big price is running a great race. I'll have another wilts away. Point in Time over on the far side for the shock. Laurelina in the noseband. Gradually Sea of Faith and Jedi coming to join in as well. 4 in line with 150 yards to travel. Over on the far side, Point in Time still narrowly in front. Laurelina, then Jedi. Point in Time for a big shock is just in front on the run to the line. They're all coming. Jedi lunges close. Point in Time with Jedi thrusting the head down to make it tight on the line. Sea of Faith back in third place. Then Laurelina, the 4 of them covered by only a length.
A brilliant finish of the afternoon so far, over the furthest we have been so far. 1 mile, 5.5 furlongs, and you still can't split them at the line. Far side, Point in Time, who was in front for much of it, over the far side. Down the centre, Jedi under Ryan Moore. No doubt about the near side. That looks as though Sea of Faith is back in third and Laurelina in fourth, but that is incredibly tight. Middle?
If I had to call it, I'd say that, unfortunately, because I like to see an outsider for a small stable win, Jedi, I think, might just have got up, but it's absolutely desperate. We're not sure our pictures are bang on the line either, but Holly Doyle got a really good tune out of this filly, who was up significantly in class, but she's handled it really well. Battled away as first Laurelina and then Jedi, and Sea of Faith tried to join in, but I think Ryan Moore might just have got this filly up. It's desperately close though, and the judge looking with his magnifying glass. The best result for all would be a dead heat, but you know, they don't have tie breaks in racing, do they? Apart from a photo.
It is incredibly tight. Far side, Point in Time for Mark Usher and Holly Doyle, outsider of this bunch, up in grade.
The weighing room in our next race.
There's news over the P. I was waiting for the result. There's news on our next race of a non-runner, but I'm going to focus on this. In fact, it's Dream Shot, who is the non in our next, having spoken to James Tate earlier on about the ground hindering his chances having gone a bit easier. But that is very tight on the line. Dream Shot, non-runner in our next, the feature. Here's the result of our fillies handicap.
First, number 3, Jedi.
Jedi has got there, not by much, second, under Ryan Moore. For Hughie Morrison from Point in Time, who ran an absolute cracker. Holly Doyle, Mark Usher, and Sea of Faith was back in third, who loomed up on the wide outside, just never really got going in the straight.
No, the only one who wasn't competitive was Motivate Me, who just looked wrong in the paddock and for whatever reason hasn't run a race. Sea of Faith isn't a quick filly, is she? And she, because of the way she starts, she had to be ridden as though she's got a bit of toe, and she just kept going at the same pace, as they all did. And Ryan Moore got a bit more cover up the home straight. That might have helped, but in the end his filly's only just got there. I think it's hard to say that Point in Time has got beaten, but she has just got top stop. A tremendously exciting race here, and as I'll have another did cry enough next to the rails. I said Motivate Me was the only one who wasn't competitive. She'd made the running and dropped away in the straight. Lorelei with the noseband had a go, but Point in Time just wouldn't go away.
I thought she was going to go back at this stage, looking at it, but she's kept on again.
Yeah, and Sea of Faith, well, you know, you've got to say the handicap has triumphed there, but Point in Time just edging slightly to her left, to her right, as Holly Doyle uses her whip in the right hand to try and correct that. It's still edging to the right and has caused problems. Very, very slightly interfered with Jedi as a result of bumping Laurelina. So she may not have kept the race if she had got ahead in front of the line anyway. Because
will they have a look at the placings anyway?
I suppose they will. They've got to think that there's a possibility that Laurelina's finished fourth, hasn't she? So they're unlikely to put the second behind the fourth, which is a bit of a quirk of our system. But if Laurelina had finished third, you think there's a good chance she'd get placed ahead of point in time. But because she's finished fourth, she probably won't. Sounds silly, but that's the way it works.
They are going to have a look at it, but Jedi in front, bringing news on the Stewards' inquiry as and when we have it. Not sure it'll affect the winner, but we'll bring you news on it when we have it. We've got to go to Haydock.